Hello students, welcome to step number 2 for our mandala. You have probably already drawn your mandala. You've gotten your big circle and you have filled it with smaller circular shapes in that radial symmetry we had talked about. Now you're ready to start adding some color. So this can be really different for everybody, but I wanted to give you a few tricks and ideas. Sometimes when I give people colored pencils, they just tend to fill in a shape with one color because that's what they think. They think that's the only thing they can do. But I want you to know there's a million things you can do. You don't have to fill every shape with one color. I wanted to show you what I kind of did on these shapes right here. I made a gradient, and that's where two colors or maybe more slowly change from one to another. And we see that sometimes on mandalas with sand. They will layer up sand towards the middle and slowly add more of the next color to make a gradient change from color to color. So we're not layering little bits of sand, but you can do the same thing with a colored pencil. So I wanted to show you. So I chose to do these two this way. I could maybe do these two different, but make these two match so it's opposite symmetry right here. But I think I'm gonna make them all the same. So just like we talked about before, using those quadrant lines, those folds, to help you keep track of everything being symmetrical. So I have mine gradiently going from green to yellow, and I have the green starting at the center point. So this one, the green's gonna start at that center, towards the center. And this one, that green will start at that center. So it's up to you. Do what you'd like. Some could be solid colored, some could be gradient. You can gradiate with several colors, but I just want to show you a little trick on how to do it. Oh, I can't zoom in. So you can layer with colored pencils the same way you can layer with colored sand. I start really dark on one end and then slowly lighten up my coloring, getting a little past halfway. I'll fill it with a little lighter color because we're going to overlap it. The trick is getting it really dark on one side, kind of a medium in the middle, and lighter crossing over to the next side. Now, with your other color, or if you want to do 3, you do the same thing, but you would do it in 3 sections. Oh, there we go. Same thing, I'm going to start really dark over here, working kind of carefully because I want to keep my lines nice and neat so it's perfectly matched on both sides. And you have this nice line to help guide you. And a pencil is much easier than sand, so we can think about how much easier we have this now that we're doing it with pencil and not with a handful of colored sand. So same thing, harden the edge, and you can layer the two on top of each other a little bit. So I feel like it kind of quickly changes off of green there. I don't love that. So I'm going to add a little more light green. I did these the other day, so I kind of forgot how I did it. But yeah, that's about right. You want to get a slow change from one to the other. You don't want one color to abruptly stop and another one start. You can layer with colors to help you get that effect. I'm going to add a little more yellow this way. So that's one example. If you wanted to do 3 colors at a time, let me pick a little section. I'm going to pick right here. I'm going to do blue on this outer, or sorry, this purple. On the outer edge, I'm going to go dark, lighter, lighter, very light. And then I'm going to add maybe yellow. So starting really light, I'm going to layer on top a little bit, get a little darker, darker. And then I'm going to lighten it up again. Lighten up there. And then I'm going to add, I think some dark grading down here in the corner. And lighten it towards the middle. I might even layer it up a little bit. So, well, it's not quite the way I want it, but you get the idea. I'm trying to work quick. So layer things together, work from lighter to darker, and you can make a gradient flow with several colors. It can just add an extra dimension to your mandala. So if you want to experiment with some of those, remember, as you're coloring, just like when you made your shapes, keep an eye on that radial symmetry. Things should match from side to side or match all around. And remember too, especially in the coloring part of this project, you can really let your mind kind of tune out for a little bit, focus on the coloring, especially if you know exactly what you're doing, or if you're coloring a big section, you can really kind of shut your brain off, stop worrying about all the other things you've been worrying about, and just kind of let your hand do all the working and let your mind kind of take a break. So almost like meditating, it's a good way to clear your mind, which is part of how some of those religions use this as a ceremony to help clear the mind and meditate. So give it a try, have some fun.